Yeah, I appreciate the time, the council. I'd like to ask if there's any such thing as an ADA exception to the 3-minute limit, because I've got double vision. I'd like to read some very short proposals to the city council, and I'm not sure if I can get through it in 3 minutes exactly.
Why don't you just give it your best shot and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, thank you. My proposal, number one, is that the city of San Clemente immediately withdraw from participation in and from the agreement with the TCA immediately. And since the process of severing our participation in the agency takes 6 months after notice is given, we've already squandered precious time by not doing so earlier. If this action in and of itself completely eliminates the possibility of our city's land being annexed or overtaken by eminent domain, this may be the best solution for all of the ones that I'm proposing. Number two, we've designated a lot of land the TCA would need for its roadway as open space, whatever that means. If I were on the TCA board, I'd give you a hearty thank you for making my job of acquiring that land really straightforward and very easy. My proposal would be to make the open space so expensive to acquire that that property would be vastly less appealing to the TCA to acquire. Everyone loves the thought of natural, undeveloped areas to enjoy walking, biking, or other activities in, and gee, that's nice, but the reality is since there would be no structures on that land, it would be a joke to think that we would continue to enjoy that unspoiled space in perpetuity, unfettered. Sadly, it'd be a snap for the TCA to declare that space as immediately available for building a roadway on. There's an alternative that would bring substantial tax revenues to the city's coffers while making that space incredibly less desirable as a path through which to build a toll road by allowing commercial and high-value residential properties to be developed within those spaces. It'd certainly make the TCA's ability to acquire that developed land cost prohibitive and planned annexation by eminent domain nearly impossible. It would be simply way too expensive. I know it's not the option I would willingly choose. I don't know that it would likely thwart the TCA's intention of acquiring that land with a simple wave of their eminent domain wand. 3, according to Brad Malamud, the city of San Clemente has paid $263,878.81 for legal advice since November of 17. Since there's been additional consultation since then, my guess is that this amount is significantly lower than the real cost for that representation. I'd like to agendize for the next city council meeting an explanation of what our city's attorneys have actually accomplished with that money that have the remotest prayer of blocking the TCA from running a north-south toll road through our city, and in so doing ignoring the study that the city commissioned proving that an east-west infrastructure, which is truly what's needed. There seems to be no limit to the legal fees that the city is incurring investigating what our options might be, but I have yet to see anything being accomplished that actually prevents the TCA from the acquisition of our land. I know that there's been a lot of lip service paid to the fact that we all seem not to want a toll road run through our city, but I'm not seeing anything I would consider substantive toward preventing this from happening.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. We appreciate your comments. We'll now turn to our city attorney for his comments. Thank you.
So I'm unable to complete.
Sir, you read it quite well. Thank you. We appreciate your 3 minutes.
It's a good thing it was in big letters.
Thank you.
And so we do have your written copy here at the dais that we will keep because it's got the complete.
Yeah, it's a much more cogent.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, thanks for this opportunity to provide an update on. Can you speak in the microphone, please? Yeah, I'm not sure it's on. Oh, there. Sorry, John. I haven't been here for so long. I forgot it on the mic. Yeah, this is an update on recent events in the toll road saga. I just wanted, in response to to a technical comment made earlier, give an answer about how much the city's paid in legal fees to fight the toll road. The answer is nothing. Our firm agreed to do that work pursuant to a contract presented earlier this summer on a contingent fee basis. Our firm has $400,000 into the effort, and none of that's been billed to the city. It's recoverable on the back end if we prevail. So just wanted to get that out there so there's no question about that. I might sound defensive, so I'll move on to the most important thing that's happened is that the toll road agencies and Caltrans have released a preliminary draft of the project document, the scoping document for the intended toll road, which, by the way, is no longer a toll road. It's morphed into a feel-good concept, which is South County traffic relief. So we're left commenting on a road that's not a road, and that was our first comment. Beyond that, there are 5 main points in the letter that we filed with Caltrans and TCA. And by the way, that letter is a public document. They can be summarized as follows. The first is that there are several alternatives in the project document that TCA lacks the authority to implement. The argument and point that we've made a lot before is that TCA by statute is charged with a very narrow task of building a handful of South County toll corridors, the 73, the 133, and the one that most affects us, the 241. In a 2016 settlement, the TCA decided not to build the 241 freeway pursuant to a stipulated injunction. And so the argument now is that this broad array of transportation improvements that are scoped in the document are including improvements to I-5, new routes down the Pico corridor, for example, are outside TCA's power to bring to effect. And so our first comment in the letter, the city's first comment, is that they have no business writing this document because they have no business doing these improvements. The second one is that TCA and Caltrans have not paid any attention to the extensive needs assessments and transportation studies that the city has formulated. I think the city's budgeted and appropriated in excess of $100,000 to prepare traffic studies that have been sent over, they've been vetted here, they've been presented at TCA. There's no response whatsoever to them in these initial documents, and Caltrans and TCA are obligated to consider all studies done on the projects they're vetting. The third argument is that the document has flawed project objectives. The project objectives appear to be contrived to rationalize a project that is really unnecessary. Most project objectives in these sorts of documents talk about peak level of service on freeways and how to improve that level of service. And this one invents several objectives that are, as I said, artificial and really just rationalize post hoc what they already intend to do. The fourth point that we make is that the document hides the ball on right-of-way takings that would need to be brought to effect on all the alternatives. It invents a new project which is part of a hybrid project, Alternative 21. It includes widening of I-5. There are sections of how that freeway might look and what width it might have, but TCA has hidden where that footprint might be. We think they know, but it's not included in this document for public consumption because they appear to want to keep that secret. And last but not least, we raised an objection having to do with the admission of obvious alternatives. One alternative to improving traffic relief is converting the existing toll roads to free roads, and that would have obvious enhancements to traffic flow north and south and all over the county. This document doesn't consider obvious alternatives like converting all or part of the existing toll roads to free roads. It's also unclear on the disposition of Los Patrones Road. That road right now is being constructed as a free arterial in Southeast County. It's apparent from these documents that TCA's designs would be to take that open road once it's dedicated and to privatize it and make it subject to tolls. Again, the document hides the ball on that element of its objectives, and so we've called TCA on that. Again, the letter's 5 or 6 pages. There will be additional letters, technical letter submitted by the city's engineering department, the contract traffic engineer, and then other stakeholder agencies as the week progresses.
Thank you, Scott. Very comprehensive. Appreciate the update, and we are, I know that there's a pitched legal battle before us on this, but we are very confident in your ability to fight that on our behalf. Any questions for Scott? As our TCA rep, would you like to add anything, Kathy?
I would add that as your representative for the city on TCA, that each and every point that our attorney just made and is in this PSR, I completely agree with, and it's exactly what I have said and in the meetings and what I have witnessed. So it's very comprehensive. Appreciate this project study comment. It should be mentioned that our city is asking for this project, the study report, to be tabled, and which means stopped until it is decided that TCA even has the right to even be studying these alternatives that are outside their authority. So that is the end result of this. So what we are doing on the legal front is quite a lot, and we've gotten pretty far, I would say, since November of 2016 when they said the settlement and then pointed the route through us, leaving us out of the settlement. So I think we're on the right track.
Thank you, Kathy. And thank